Celtics versus the Pistons, 76ers versus the Nets. We're going to break down both those games, give you guys some opinions on those, as well as a couple player props. Welcome, everyone. I'm Andy from WagerTalk. Go ahead, hit the like button. You guys know what to do. Hit that like button. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you like in either of these games. Some really bettable NBA games tonight. These are two of them. So let's jump right into it here. I'll also tell you about a 30-day special that we have coming up, but let's start with the Celtics and the Pistons. The starting lineups have kind of changed just within the last hour of recording this. Porzingis is looks like he's dealing with an illness. Did not play in the last game. We'll see. Holiday he was out. Now he's a game time decision. Horford is a game time decision. Cornette is a game time decision. For Detroit, looks like they're going to have all of their normal guys. And when we look at the Wager Talk live odds page at Detroit, but still, Boston is a 4.5 point favorite with the over under at 226. Listen, both these teams are incredibly hot at the moment. Last 6 games, the Pistons are third and the Celtics are fourth in offensive rating. And the Pistons are seventh and the Celtics are fourth in defensive rating. You got one team on a 6-game winning streak, one team on a 7-game winning streak. And what I keep noticing about this Celtics team, they don't lose to Eastern Conference teams. Their last 3 losses were to Western Conference teams. And you have to go back to January 18th to find the last time they've lost to an Eastern Conference team. So Boston is obviously taking the seeding very seriously. They just match up well against these Eastern Conference teams. And I'm going to keep riding it. I know Detroit has been on a really nice winning streak, but man, I can poke some holes in the teams that they've beat. Credit to them, though. They're taking care of their business, but they're beating a 76ers team that is absolutely cratering. Charlotte, who I saw a stat, Charlotte has lost the last 3 games by a combined 131 points, which is an NBA record. Like, it's hard to be that bad. But then they beat Chicago twice. That's a team that's tanking. San Antonio, they've shut down Wemby. They beat Atlanta, but only by 5. Atlanta's kind of struggling, and then they beat the Clippers. That's a solid win, but got to be honest, I am not that impressed with those wins. So I think Detroit's really good, but Boston, when they're clicking on all cylinders, they're just too much to handle. So I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics to cover the spread -4.5. If you're looking for a player prop, I'm going back to Tatum over his assists. Incredible assist numbers recently, over in 4 out of the last 5. But here's the key: 14.6 potential assists each game the last 5. If you are averaging almost 15 potential assists, you're going to get 9, 10, 11 assists, especially with how well the Celtics team shoot. So I'm going to take Tatum over 6.5 assists against Detroit. I'm going to take Boston to cover this spread here. That's your Boston Celtics, Detroit Pistons picks. I told you guys about a 30-day special, instant $100 discount off of 30 days. And if you're looking for how we build bankrolls, look no further than what we did yesterday. We had a win in tennis. We had a win in NHL. We had a win in NBA. We had a win in lacrosse. And we had a win in the TGL Golf League. That's +9 units just on a Tuesday with these sports that we do. If you got the 30-day pass yesterday, you paid for the 30 days and then some with a +9 unit Tuesday. So this is what we do, and this is why we're trying to run this 30-day special. Is these are the dog days of February and March, where all the focus is on college basketball. And we've been telling you and jumping up and down, yelling and screaming, hey, there's tons of ways to make money and add to your bankroll. We are proof of that. I mean, we hit 4 or 5 sports yesterday just on a Tuesday. So there's no reason to not take advantage of this. We are now up over 30 units for the year. We are number 1 last 365 days in profits. We're number 1 the last 2 years in profits. You can grab all of these plays, all percentages for the next 30 days at wt.buzz/AL. These are plays that we bet with our own money. We've been building our bankrolls and clients' bankrolls for a long time. It's been years. So if you're sitting on the sidelines, don't. Let us help you build these bankrolls, guys. It's a perfect time of year. wt.buzz/AL. All right, let's talk the 76ers and the Knicks. Wow, the 76ers, just the absolute season from hell. They've lost 8 in a row. They're 1-7 in their last 8 road games. And the narrative is kind of true with the Knicks, is that they lose to the elite teams, but man, when they play the bad teams, It's hammered down. And so they beat Chicago and Atlanta before losing to Cleveland and Boston. What's got to be frustrating for the Knicks is not just losing to Cleveland and Boston, but they get down big in these games. But man, when they play lesser quality teams, they're very much front running. So we're looking at the Wager Talk live odds page, and they are a monster 10-point favorite at home, and the total is 230, 230 and a half. I even see a 231 and a half over at DraftKings. So what do we do with this one? I'm certainly not betting on Philadelphia here. You look at some of these games. I mean, they're just coming off of a 32-point loss to Chicago. They lost by 2 to Brooklyn, who should be tanking. 20 points to Boston, another 4-point loss to Brooklyn, 3 points to Toronto, 8 points to Milwaukee, 13 to Detroit. I guess what you're seeing with the 76ers team is when they play even remotely decent teams, they're losing by margin. It's a really, really big number, but I'm going to take the Knicks -10. I'm laying the chalk here on today's show because I just don't buy in these lesser teams. Philadelphia, like, who can blame them for throwing in the towel? The body language looks terrible. Maxey looks really, really bummed out. Embiid probably looking at another surgery. So I'm just not going to trust the 76ers team, and I'm going to take the New York Knicks team. I know it may be a square play here to lay this kind of number with the Knicks, but I just can't buy into the 76ers team. And to piggyback off that, I'm going to keep riding Paul George under 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's gone under this in 9 straight games. He's gone under in 4 straight games without Embiid. The only concern is that he did go over this in the last game he played against the New York Knicks, but he played over 43 minutes in that game, and I just don't see that happening. So Paul George is not getting the shot attempts. He's not involved. You got to wonder how healthy is he. His minutes aren't there. So we talked about Paul George under 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists last game, and he was so bad the books have lowered it to 26.5, and I will continue to ride that. So to recap, we're going to take the Celtics and the Knicks to cover these big numbers. If we're looking at player props, we're going to look at Tatum over his assists and Paul George under 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Those are your plays that we're talking about today. Don't forget to grab that 30-day pass. I'm telling you, don't miss out on it. Everyone that got it yesterday, great job cashing big on those. So WT.buzz/AL for 30 days. Good luck on your plays, and we'll see everyone later.